of silence to feel the presence of our God in guiding us for the entire contest. Heavenly Father, we come to you today asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this contest. Help us to engage in a meaningful journey of Toastmastering. Allow us to grow closer as a group and nurture the bonds of the club. And continue to remind us that all that we do here tonight, all that we accomplish, is for the pursuit of the greater glory for you and for the service of humanity. We ask these things in your name. Amen. Now, it is time for the recitation of Toastmasters motto. Let us unmute our microphone and together, for better listening,
For
For
better
better
listening,
listening,
for better thinking,
for
for
better
better
thinking,
thinking,
Better thinking,
for better speaking,
for
for
better
better
speaking,
better
speaking,
speaking,
we learn by doing.
we
we
learn
learn
by
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 doing.
doing.
Thank you so much. The mission of our club is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in a great self-confidence and personal growth. May I now request you all to mute your microphones, put your mobile phones in silent mode, and turn off any noise-making devices such as TVs or radios which may disturb you during the contest. You are also requested to refrain from taking anything related to politics, sex, or religion. To keep the decorum of the virtual contest and to facilitate the contestants to perform at their best, all are requested to keep your mic muted until it is required for you to speak. This is to avoid any distraction to the speaker at at the screen and to other attendees in general. All attendees are also requested to familiarize with the chat and reaction buttons, fit yourself well in the screen, have an adequate lighting so that we can clearly see you, and mindful of your background noise. Furthermore, all attendees, especially all role takers, are requested to rename your display name according to your role tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters, guests, and friends, it is my honor and privilege to introduce our Master of Ceremony. Please put your hands together and help me welcome with our thunderous round of applause our Master of Ceremony, an eloquent speaker with a heart to serve with a great voice that touches everyone's heart, a Toastmasters who stands with the confidence and always ready to lend a hand. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters, help me welcome Toastmaster Archie Torrejos, our Master of Ceremony. The virtual podium is now yours.
Thank you so much to our thank you so much to our Chief Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Mark Lacanilao. Unfortunately, Toastmaster Archie isn't still around, and while he is still not around, I'll be filling in for him. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2021-2022 annual speech contest of Pikpa Riyadh Toastmasters Club. Tonight is the culminating night of the two-leg speech competitions of the esteemed Toastmasters Club, Pikpa Riyadh Toastmasters Club. And tonight we are going to witness the PRTicians battle it out in two different competitions, the international speech contest and also the speech evaluation contest. For this evening, we will be treated into a plethora of speeches coming from 12 evaluators and also 5 international speech contenders. Are you ready for them? I am shaking literally because I'm really shaking in excitement and also in anticipation. With no further ado, let me introduce to you our contest chair for her address. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the virtual stage. Let us Please help me welcome to the virtual stage our contest chair, Toastmaster Lilian Beldat.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Harris. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. They said that in competition, a contest is a competition. But for me, I consider it as teacher. Why? Because when you experience joining a contest, it is packaged with learnings. At the same time, you will find out a lot of things about yourself and others. Throughout the process, you will realize that the most important lesson or learning is how you transform yourself into a better person or a better contestant. So always remember that striving for progress is more important than your perfection. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this year's PRTC's annual evaluation and international contest. Just a simple reminder to all our audiences, please keep your microphone muted and your video camera off unless you are being asked to do so. To our contestant, good luck. Just be yourself, cherish the moment, and enjoy every bit of it. To our judges, get ready to experience the headache this evening. And to our guests and audiences, sit back, relax, get your popcorn, and enjoy the show. And with that, back to you, Mr. MC, our chief judge as well, Toastmaster Harris Asidera.
Thank you so much to our contest chair, Madam Lilian Beldat. The task of organizing a speech competition is a tall order. However, if you have someone at the helm, just like Toastmaster Lilian Beldat, it will just be a cinch. Ladies and gentlemen, all of this is a collaborative effort from our meeting leaders, from our contest leaders rather, from our contest chair and to the chief judges, to the chief judge and to all our incognito judges. And as your chief judge, it is my pride and honor to introduce to you the esteemed roster of contest leaders. May I request our Zoom master to please show the slides so that I can introduce to you our contest leaders for this evening. Toastmaster Kate, ladies and gentlemen, tonight will not be complete without the assistance and, of course, the efforts of our contest leaders. Let me introduce to you our Sergeant at Arms. You have met him already. He is the president of Perlas ng Silangan Toastmasters Club in the Eastern region, our brothers from the Eastern region, our Chief Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Mark Lacanilao, and the Assistant Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Edres Sakura. Of course, we also have our timers, as time is fleeting and it's very important in every aspects of our life. Let us welcome our chief timer, Toastmaster Ryan Paul Panilo, and the assistant timer, Toastmaster Harry Mark Tolentino from Speakers of Pais Riyadh Toastmasters Club. Of course, it's also important for us to have an unbiased tallying of votes. We tap the help of our colleagues and our friends from Speakers of Pais Riyadh Toastmasters Club, headed by the immediate past president, Toastmaster An Elemanco as our chief tally counter, and the assistant tally counter, Toastmaster Erwin Mandia. Of course, we have our master of ceremonies. He will be joining us in a little while, Toastmaster Archie Torrejos, the ever fluent and eloquent. And we have our ever dependable, ever reliable Toastmaster Christine Magat as our Zoom master. Thank you so much. Of course, as what I have mentioned, for this evening, we're going to have two competitions. The first competition is our speech evaluation contest. And we are going to be spearheaded by a contest master. Let me introduce our contest master for this evening. Our contest master is a member of the Jubail Filipino Toastmasters Club, or JFTC, and is currently working as the executive assistant to the country director of Samsung Engineering, Saudi Arabia, and at the same time with the finance section. A firm believer that education is something that doesn't require age and social status. Our willingness to educate ourselves is what will help us become more tolerant and responsible. Education is for everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome our speech evaluation contest master, Toastmaster Eric Chu. Over to you, Toastmaster Eric.
Thank you so much, Masters of Ceremony, and at the same time, the Chief Judge, I believe, Toastmaster Harris. You are such a multitasker, and thank you so much for that generous introduction. So, this will be the first part of tonight's speech contest, which will be the evaluation speech. And I do believe that all of our contestants are prepared and ready to share a piece of their mind. Ladies and gentlemen, please note that, as referred to at the start, this contest is being recorded. Please refer to the declaration regarding your attendance, which is currently displayed on the chat screen. And it is important that apart from our designated audience members, we have specifically been asked to keep their videos on. We require the remaining audience to keep their videos off and sound muted at all times while speeches are being delivered. So the purpose of the evaluation speech contest, as defined by Toastmasters, is to provide an opportunity for speakers to improve their speaking abilities and to recognize the best as encouragement to all, and to provide an opportunity to learn by observing the more proficient speakers who have benefited from their Toastmasters training. The timing of the evaluation contest speeches must be from 2 to 3 minutes. A contestant will be disqualified if their speech is less than 1 minute and 30 seconds or more than 3 minutes and 30 seconds. The timing will be indicated by the timer using virtual color backgrounds. The speakers have been advised to pin their timer and to also have their own timing device in the room with them. The timekeeper completing the timekeeper's sheet will be the official time record for this contest. Timekeepers, please display the green signal at 2 minutes. Thank you. The yellow signal at 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And the red signal at 3 minutes. There will be no further indication of time, and the red signal will remain displayed until the contestant concludes their presentation. Judges have been instructed not to consider their time in their ranking of the speakers. Timing will begin with the contestant's first definite verbal or non-verbal communication with the audience. This usually starts with the first word uttered by the contestant, but would include any other communication such as sound effect, a stage act by another person, etc. The speaker should begin speaking within a short time of arriving at the speaking area and is not permitted to delay the contest unnecessarily. If a contestant lost the connection before they completed their evaluation, but was able to meet the minimum time required, they will be judged based on what they answered. If they lost the connection before the minimum time, they will be disqualified. Timers should note the time they lost connection. The contestants and the judges have certified their eligibility. The contest chair and the chief judge have confirmed the eligibility of the contestants and the judges. The winner will represent Picpariad Toastmasters Club at Area 5 at a later date that will be determined by the area director. So this will be announced later on. These proceedings are designed to ensure that we run a fair contest and that each contestant is given a level playing field on which to compete. The following announcements are made in the interest of having a distraction-free environment for our contestants. Please place all cell phones or other devices that makes audible noises either off or on silent. No photography of the contestants is allowed during contestant speeches. Please put away cameras, smartphones, tablets, all devices that can take pictures. There will be photo opportunities after the speeches. Video recording is allowed only if the contestant and the contest chair have given their approval in advance. Mr. Contest Chair, have all the contestants been briefed? Are all the contestants present?
Yes, they are.
And are we ready to proceed with the evaluation speech contest?
Yes, Mr. Contest Master.
Thank you so much, Miss Contest Chair. I'm so sorry to call you Mr. Mr. Chief Judge, have all the contest officials been briefed and are we ready to proceed with the contest?
We are ready.
Thank you so much. In order to allow the judges time to mark their judging forms, we will have 1 minute of silence after each contestant's speech, and we will have silence after the last contestant's speech until all the results are collected. Timekeepers, will one of you signal me when 1 minute has elapsed between contestant speeches? Okay, so I will go over the order of the contestants. So earlier I was informed that there are 1, 2, 3, I think 4 evaluation speech contestants that will not make it tonight. So originally we have 12. So contestant number 1 will be Marty David. Contestant number 2, Rogelio Wenceslao. Contestant number 3, Rosel Sazon. Contestant number 4, Aaron Pescador. Contestant number 5, Michael John Benicarlo. Contestant number 6, Carlo Iseo. Contestant number 7, Ria May San Pedro. Contestant number 8, Alfred Reyes. Contestant number 9, Ruel Ontiveros. Contestant number 10, Barbara Jane Benicarlo. Contestant number 11, Ferdinand Hueco. Contestant number 12, Edward Berador. All right, so there you go, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters, our 12 contestants for the evaluation speech contest. So I will introduce the test speaker only by name and speech title. Then I will repeat speech title and name. Please turn off video at this time with the exception of the timer and the test speaker. So before we'll proceed with the formalities of the evaluation speech contest, are there any questions? I think that will be no, there's no question. So the evaluation contest will now begin. So I will be introducing now the test speaker. Our test speaker is Jolan Roselis. Correct me if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly.
This is correct, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so our test speaker is Mr. Jolan Roselis. His speech title is The Twin Lines, The Twin Lines, Jolan Roselis. The virtual podium is now yours.
I am greatly honored to be here speaking on this club, and I presume that most of the members here are accountants, as the name of the club suggests. In fact, becoming an accountant is also my dream profession next to engineer. Fellow Toastmasters, guests, ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant evening. During our preschool years, we were taught first by our parents on how to draw different types of lines. At that age, we just follow them because we are told to do so. It is one of the steps to learn writing. Lines that I drew that time has no significant meaning and impact on me. But as the time goes by, these lines had influenced me a lot for my everyday living. Accountants have a famous equation: assets equals liabilities plus equity. Mechanical engineers uses the equation from the first law of thermodynamics, also known as the law of conservation of energy. Change in internal energy is equal to heat added minus work done by the system. The lines that I wanted to emphasize tonight are the two short horizontal lines drawn in a line and put in the middle of the equation, which is called the equal sign. Being equal means that the value of the left must be balanced. However, when the word equal applied to people, it is completely theoretical. Equal means every individual or group must enjoy the same rights and opportunities. Have you experienced at one point in your life where you have felt that you are living in a contemporary society? With full of disparities? I remember during my college years who that's so low. The measures of the to participate in converting the triangle. However, there is one question that bothers me. How could I contribute for the solution? As an engineer, we were trained in school that before giving any solution, the first step to be done is identifying the problem. Hope you will agree with me. From my own perspective and experiences, inequalities exist in our society because of the following contributing factors. First is poverty. I have lived in a hinterland community and I knew well the plight of the poor. There was this woman holding her child, knocking on our house door around 9 o'clock in the evening, asking for some portions of rice because they haven't eaten yet their meal that night. while others are enjoying their sumptuous meals with a lot of food waste. There are other people who are starving. During the COVID-19 lockdowns, it is very evident that the poor were the ones who were greatly affected, waiting for the government cash subsidy to afford the basic needs during the pandemic. Second, intellectual capacity. People have a high regard for those who have finished a college degree to perform a certain job. Educational attainment was one of the qualifications when you are applying for a job, even if the job demands more of physical strength than mental. Third is culture. The padrino, palakasan, or patronage system in our culture, wherein one gains favor if he or she has a family or friends inside the business. I remember when my brother was applying for a job in the government, he was advised to look for somebody to process his papers inside the organization. Otherwise, chances of getting hired is very minimal. Fourth is power. Power could mean money, knowledge, connections, or influences. Here I am talking about the inequality in the justice system of our country, wherein the poor gets just peace and the rich just east. Number five is affiliation. I remember the story of my colleague when he's applying for a job in Manila. When the employer noticed the religion and the place where he came from, at an instant, their flow of conversation was changed. Yes, he was not hired, not because of his capability to perform the job, but because of his affiliation. Fellow Toastmasters, I knew that there are still more contributing factors, but I have summarized it only into five. Remember PICPA acronym. P is for poverty, I intellectual capacity, C is culture, P power, A affiliation. Some of my ancestors and friends have been victimized of this inequality, and at an early age, my young mind has been opened that in the future I can be vulnerable to. Like a vaccine injected into our bodies to prevent any diseases, I have pursued that my mind needs to be injected too with a good knowledge through proper education. I have seen that education is the best social equalizer and armor against this inequality. It is hard to cure this cancer of society, but we can prevent it by our collaborative efforts if we all have a willing hearts. Together, we can balance the world. Back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Toastmaster Eric.
Thank you. Zoom host, will you please open the breakout room for our contestants? I also would like to ask one sergeant at arms and one timer to escort all of the contestants to the breakout room for the 5-minute preparation. Are all the contestants in the breakout room? Okay. Sorry, I'm having a technical problem with my camera. That's why I covered it. So I hope everyone can see me now.
Yes,
Oh,
we can see you.
all right. So I believe all of our evaluation speech contestants are now in the break room. All right. So,
Yes, I can see them. I can see them in the breakout room, Mr. Contest Master.
all right. Thank you so much, Chief Judge
You
Harris.
may now proceed.
Okay. So I would like to congratulate first our target speaker, Mr. Jolan Racelis. So I am presenting this certificate of appreciation to Mr. Jolan Racelis for his outstanding support to Toastmasters International Communication and Leadership Program by being the target speaker in the annual speech contest of Pikpa Riyadh Toastmasters Club held virtually this 11th day of January year 2022, signed by PRTC's contest chair Lillian Beldad and by the chief judge Harris Asidera. Congratulations to you, Jolan Racelis, for a
Thank
job.
you very much, sir.
You're most welcome. So before we call in the first contestant for the evaluation speech, I have some few questions for you, Mr. Target Speaker. Can we highlight him, Zoom Master? Thank you. Okay, so we are both now on Spotlight. So how do you feel right now that you're able to finish delivering your speech entitled The Twin Lines?
I am overwhelmed because honestly, I am not well prepared for this speech because I have only unlimited time and I have practiced only a little bit.
But you seem so comfortable when I'm watching you deliver your speech. The nervousness, it doesn't show. What's your inspiration when you're preparing for this speech?
My inspiration for this speech, of course, my family first, and of course, God.
Wonderful, wonderful. So yeah, I always believe that we will always get inspiration from our loved ones, and especially from the Almighty. They will be our guiding star, if I may say, and they will always keep us moving on since they will inspire us in everything that we do. So are you in the Philippines right now?
No, sir, I'm here in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, I see. I thought you were based in the Philippines.
No, no.
So how's your life here in KSA?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you well.
How's your life here in Saudi Arabia?
Yeah, actually, it's doing fine. I'm already 11 years, almost 11 years here in Saudi Arabia.
I see you're 1 year older. I'm gonna be 20 years here in KSA this year.
Yes, sir.
Are you, when was the last time that you go on vacation considering this pandemic?
The last time,
Yes.
2019. Actually, it's not a vacation, only a 1 week vacation because my father died. So
I'm
then I
sorry
just
for
came back
that.
here.
I'm sorry for that, Jolan.
No, it's okay,
Well,
sir.
did you know that the last vacation I had was back in 2019 also? So I didn't have my vacation for almost 3 years now because of this pandemic. So what is or what are the things that makes you resilient and more stronger, knowing that this pandemic is keeping us away from doing things that we do normally?
What makes me being resilient for
Yes,
this pandemic?
right.
Yeah, it's of course my inspiration. I have to continue with my life because I have family who is waiting for me when I go back home.
Yes, that's true. That's perfectly true. And what made you decide to come and work here in ASA?
What made me decide to come in
To come
KSA?
to work here in KSA, yes.
Actually, sir, the decision, it's because of my. Actually, I'm the eldest child,
Oh,
so I have three brothers. So and then by the time they are going to start with their schooling in college, so I help my parents to pay the tuition fees in their school. So I think I could not met if I would be just working in the Philippines. So that's the one of the reasons why I came here in South.
right. That's true. That's true. We always have that within us Filipinos, always obligate ourselves to help our family. Well, I think we are now in red, as shown by the timer. Thank you so much for sharing a bit of your personal side, Roland. Thank you so much for being genuine.
I appreciate it, sir. Thank you very much for your comments.
Thank you so much. All right, so before we call in our first contestant, I would like to again remind the audience to please um, unmute our microphones. If we need to unmute it for us to applaud the contestant, then we need to mute it again when someone is speaking. All right, thank you. So I will call in now the first contestant. Our first contestant will be Marty David. All right, so he's with us right now. All right, so this will be an audio visual check. Contestant number one, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Are you ready? I cannot hear your yes.
Yes, I am ready.
Perfect. Contestant number one, can you see the timer?
Timer. I can see the timer. Chief timer Ryan Panelo.
Perfect. All right, so can you do the audio and visual check first? Can you say your name and can you again say, I can see the timer?
Hi, my name is Toastmaster Martin David, and this is an audio and video check. I can also see the timer.
Wonderful, Marty. Thank you. All right. So let us now begin. Contestant number one, Marty David.
Good evening, everyone. Especially to my target speaker, Toastmaster Jolan. Thank you for giving us a good speech tonight. Tonight is a very challenging because of the pandemic. Tonight, I had also challenged to hear your speech because it's not so clear, but maybe this is all our challenges, our evaluators, to give you a good evaluation. What I understand, Toastmaster Jolan, that education is the best weapon to get a good job. Because in the Philippines, the palakasan system is very known. If you don't have a godfather, if you don't have a politician relatives, you will not get a good job. That is true. And we have to educate ourselves we have to have a good education just to get a job. And I can see that in you, the way you talk, the way you act, and the way you deliver your speech. I know that you are in a good position right now. Toastmaster Jolan, I would like to congratulate you with that wonderful speech. Now, how can you elevate yourself to good and to an excellent speech? Toastmaster Jolan, in my humble opinion, probably first, because we are in a virtual contest, probably the number one is your light. It should be because your light was in the back, so I cannot see clearly your face, really. And number two, I have noticed that you are standing, but I can see only your neck. So I was thinking that you are sitting. Number three is the connection. This is very important, Toastmaster Jolan. The connection. There are some point of your speech that was, I cannot understand clearly. Even my colleagues are also complaining. So maybe at this point of time, we have to have a good or strong connection. Toastmaster. Now, in my summary, Toastmaster Jolan, you have your speech was good enough, but in order for you to have a good speech next time that you are going to deliver, you have to have a good light, you have to have a good background, and the connection of your internet. That would be all, and back to you, Toastmaster, Contest Master.
Thank you so much, contestant number one. Contestant number one, kindly stay on the screen and receive your virtual certificate and a quick photo op. Thank you. Speech contest certificate of participation is given to Marty David for participating in the annual speech evaluation contest of PRTC, held virtually on the 11th day of January 2022, signed by the contest chair, Lilian Beldad, and the chief judge, Harris Acedera. Thank you so much. I would like to request 1 minute of silence. Sergeant at Arms, please have the next contestant return into the main room. All right, I think 1 minute is over. Our next contestant is Rogelio Wenceslao. Contestant number two, Rogelio Wenceslao.
Thank you so much, Contest Master. Good evening, fellow Toastmaster. Ladies and gentlemen, our Toastmaster target speaker for tonight, Jolan. Well, let me just evaluate you using the PICPA that you have also used in your speech. My P, let me start with the things that you have done really well, is professional. You have somehow gave us an impression that the speech that you will have is addressed to a particular profession. And that is why you mentioned about the profession of CPAs and the profession even of engineers. And that is a good thing to connect, even though you don't have perhaps totally no idea about what the club, who the club demographics is. There was an effort on your part to connect right away on the demographics, and that is on the profession based on that one. And kudos for that. Another is letter I, interest and intelligence. I could sense the intelligence when you started opening your mouth and hearing the famous in on our part, on my part being a certified public accountant, the accounting equation, which is asset is equals to liabilities plus capital, and of course your share of the thermodynamics formula, which honestly somehow intimidated me. But we can talk that later on. Let's go deeper on letter C, on the content that you have shared to us. I would say that it is very high level. It is something that, if I may say, if you were a student in a class, for example, you are writing a very good essay, and I'll give you high remarks for that, for touching on this topic about poverty, intellectual, cultural differences, power, and affiliation. However, if there is something that I would like you to grow on, STGO, something to grow on, is letter P. So I have mentioned P a while ago, I, C, and now P, which is about the poor lighting. Honestly, I would say that the poor lighting somehow disconnected me from your speech, because I was trying to close my eyes and just listen out, because anyway I could still just hear you. Perhaps you could adjust your lighting, go for a ring light maybe, and some other extra lights that you have, so that you will have a pleasant, we could see the smile on your face, you could interact. And even though this is a virtual platform, we still need to connect somehow. And one important aspect of that is to connect properly by having a better lighting. And finally, affiliate, letter A, affiliate with us, join us. Please, Toastmaster Jolan, you can join Tikparia Toastmasters Club. The club is open for all sorts, not only for CPAs. But overall, you've done a great job. Professional, intelligent, content. Although, look on the poor lighting and affiliate, join us. Back to our contest master.
Thank you so much, contestant number 2, and please remain on screen and receive your virtual certificate for and a quick photo op. Certificate of participation is presented to Rogelio Wenceslao Jr. for participating in the annual speech evaluation contest of Pikparia Toastmasters Club, held virtually on the 11th day of January 2022, signed by the contest chair Lilian Bildad and Chief Judge Harris Acedera. Thank you so much. 1 minute of silence. Sergeant at Arms, please have the next contestant return into the main room.
Toastmaster Eric, you may now proceed.
Thank you. Is contestant number 3 ready?
Yes, Mr. Contest Master.
Can you see the timer?
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Can you do the audio and visual check?
This is an audio and video check.
Contestant number 3, Roselle Sazon. Roselle Sazon, contestant number 3.
The green line. Our test speaker for this evening has given us a very straight line, straight to the point speech. Let me congratulate you, Toastmaster Jolan, for giving us a very interesting, timely, inspiring speech this evening. I truly commend your time and your performance for giving us that kind of speech. In every line, there's a straight line and there's also the curved line. Allow me, Toastmaster Jolan, to evaluate your speech. I divide it into two, the straight line and the curved line, with the category, with the content, delivery, and the technical side. Toastmaster Jolan, let's start with the technical side. Obviously, I believe most of us who attended or heard your speech this evening is that there's a little bit of shortcoming on your side. If you allow me to suggest, make sure that you come prepared, because this was given a chance for you. A speech like this is once in a lifetime. So I heard that, I felt that if you could prepare yourself more on the technical side, I believe that straight line could be achieved. Second is the delivery. I love how you deliver your speech. You have a very wonderful voice. So clear, so crisp in our ears. I also love that you know how to use the power of pause, and that voice modulation really reached me from your location up to my end. Toastmaster Jolan, I believe everybody as well will agree, perhaps due to the technical side that I cannot see much because of the lighting on your side. I can't see the expression or the emotions. I believe if you infuse that in your speech, it will give more colorful, and that straight line will be achieved. Third is the content. I love how you animate the word PICPA, which is truly amazing. I'm also impressed how you put that abbreviation with a beautiful, meaningful letters about PICPA. And I'm sure the PICPA organization will truly love you more for giving that kind of abbreviation. Toastmaster Jolan, if you allow me, for that curved line that affect your speech, I suggest, though it's wonderful you have given us those letters in the PICPA, I suggest if you, in your next speech, if you can minimize it into three. Like on my side, the PICPA, I only remember the word power and the affiliations on the latter part of your speech. Toastmaster Jolan, to sum it up, in every line, there's always straight and curve. If you allow me to my suggestion to be with you, I believe that straight line will be achieved as long as to be prepared with your technical side, especially the internet, that expression in your emotions, with that wonderful speech content. I believe that green line or straight green line will be achieved. Back to you, Mr. Contest Master.
Thank you so much, contestant number 3. Please kindly stay on the screen and receive your virtual certificate and a quick photo op. This certificate of participation is presented to Roselle Sazon for participating in the annual speech evaluation contest of PRTC Toastmasters Club, held virtually on the 11th day of January 2022, signed by contest chair Lillian Beldad and Chief Judge Harris Acedera. Thank you. 1 minute of silence, please. Sergeant at Arms, please have the next contestant return to the main room. Let's now proceed to contestant number 4. Contest chair, is contestant number 4 ready?
Contest master, contestant number 4 and contestant number 5. Contestant number 4, contestant number 5, contestant number 9, and contestant number 10 will not be joining the contest.
4, 5,
5, 10, and 9.
9, and 10. Thank you so
Yes.
much, contest chair. All right,
Thank
then, so we'll proceed to contestant number 6.
Point of order, Mr. Chief Judge, can we proceed to contestant number 6? Toastmaster Harris?
We're still waiting for
Toastmaster.
contestant number 6. Contestant number 6 is not yet in the meeting.
Noted, Chief Judge.
Sergeant at Arms, can we have contestant number 6 return to the main room? Okay, so I can see contestant number 6. Can we highlight him, please? Spotlight him. Thank you. Is contestant number 6 ready?
Yes, Mr. Contest Master, I am ready.
Can you see the timer?
I can see Chief Timer Ryan Panilo.
Can you do the audio and visual check?
This is an audio and visual check.
Thank you. Carlo Iseo, contestant number 6. Carlo Iseo, contestant number 6.
Toastmaster Jolan, like you have shown bright night. You have spoke about accounting, about engineering, and hence I will evaluate your speech using the 3 basic levels of the education in the Philippines. First is the elementary, where these are the basic points I have seen and observed in your speech tonight. First, that I believe and I understand that you do not have a well-lit stage, or in other words, you do not have a very good speaking platform. I cannot fathom how handsome you are because your registry is dark. And also in the first quarter of your speech, there's somehow a connection problem where I can't really understand your speech or the words or the ideas that you wanted to convey. You know, my suggestion is to stand up, use your hand gestures, maximize your stage, and also do not hesitate. Speak up. Hence, using this one, you can find your niche and the stage dynamics that you're comfortable with. Second is the high school. In this way, or in this point in time, you went another level higher than the previous one. I like how you painted the canvas colorfully with your beautifully curated, colorful adjectives. You have also brought us into different storylines, which does not actually mess up your own storyline. Next is the penultimate level, which is the college. Well, in this point in time, I like how you have incorporated the summary. I believe, in my own personal opinion, this is the most powerful aspect of your speech, where you have highlighted the main points of your speech. I like also how it's full of substance, full of wisdom. Your speech is, it's timely and relevant. It's full of wisdom, wherein you actually put not only just your personal stories, but the stories of your friends. And also, I would like to say that I want your speech to focus on your personal storylines as well. Bank on that, anchor on that. And personally, that's what I want to hear from the speakers. Overall, Toastmaster Jolan, I would like you to check on these items. In my personal opinion, fix your speaking platform, okay? anchor the speech on your personal stories, bank on your excellent vocabulary. I so love that. And but do not go overboard, by the way. And next is that to anchor your speech with something that is unique from you. Overall, I believe that if you will just incorporate these things in your speech, you will be even better speaker than you are tonight. Back to you, Mr. Contest Master.
Contestant number 6, kindly stay on screen and receive your virtual certificate and a quick photo op. This certificate of participation is presented to Carlo Ray Iseo for participating in the annual speech evaluation contest of Picparia's Toastmasters Club held virtually on the 11th day of January 2022, signed by the contest chair Lilian Beldad and Chief Judge Harris Acedera. Congratulations. 1 minute of silence, please. Sergeant at Arms, please have the next contestant return into the main room. I will now introduce contestant number 7. Can we have contestant number 7 in the main room? Sergeant at Arms, is contestant number 7? Okay, I can see her now. Contestant number 7, are you ready?
Give me a second. I wanted to find the timer. Okay. Yes, I'm ready.
All right. I believe you can see the timer.
Yes.
Can you do the audio and visual check?
This is Rhea San Pedro, and this is an audio and visual check.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rhea May San Pedro, contestant number 7. Rhea May San Pedro, contestant number 7.
Good evening, my fellow Toastmasters and guests, and to my target speaker. I really commend your speech, your well-thought speech, and which relates to the importance of education. The purpose of my speech today is to evaluate how you perform in your speech and provide you with the things or the points that I love on your speech and things that you may want to consider to improve your speech prowess. So let us start with the good stuff. I would summarize the good points the good points on your speech using the word gem. So it spells as GEM. So on your speech, I love the good flow of the speech. So I love the good choice of words and the excellent messaging of your speech. I love how you incorporated your personal experiences and the experiences of your friends, your relatives in your speech. It's a good one. And I love how you use acronyms to vehiculate the message of your speech. I also love how you close your speech in terms of the action that you would want the audience to incorporate in terms of how they perceive education. Next is letter E, your eye contact. Your eye contact is really amazing. It shows your good connection to the audience. I mean, be it online or be it on face-to-face, good eye contact is really a good indication of a good speaker. Next is mastery. I really did notice that you have mastered your speech very well, and I commend you for exerting that effort to master or to memorize your speech to provide us with basically a good speech. So that's a gem. Your good points are gem. Next would be your development points. So development points I would want to vehiculate to you are three things. So in terms of the lighting, from a good speaker, it would be good that you incorporate or you would have a good lighting in your location so that we can see your beautiful face. So that's one. Next is good internet connection. There was some point that we can't really, understand because of the bad internet connection. And second is your gestures. So they say that having good movements or having those gestures in your speech allows you to communicate very well and allows you to connect with your audience. So those are the three things that I would want you to consider in your speech. Now, let me end my speech connecting to your topic. So education is the passport to future. For tomorrow belongs those who prepare for today. That's it, and well done to you, Jolan.
Thank you, contestant number 7. Kindly stay on screen and receive your virtual certificate and a quick photo op. This certificate of participation is presented to Ria May San Pedro for participating in the annual speech evaluation contest of Pikpa Riyadh Toastmasters Club held virtually on the 11th day of January 2022, signed by contest chair Lillian Beldad and Chief Judge Harris Asedera. Congratulations. 1 minute of silence, please. Sergeant at Arms, please have the next contestant return into the main room. Thank you. Is contestant number 8 ready?
Yes, I am ready. Can you hear me?
Yes, contestant number 8, I can hear you. Can you do the audio and visual check?
This is audio and visual check.
Thank you. Alfred Reyes, contestant number 8. Alfred Reyes, contestant number 8. Sorry, can you see the timer?
Timer, chip timer, spin. Yes.
Okay, contestant number 8, Alfred Reyes.
Behind the clouds, the sun is still shining. Fellow Toastmasters, good evening. And to my target speaker, Mr. Jolan Mercedes, the speech that I have heard tonight reminds me of the good old days, which is akin to the agony that I had as I pursue my dreams. Toastmaster Jolan, you reminded me how hard life is, the struggles of a person in for pursuit to fulfilling his dreams? And how does one copes up with the pressing times? You know, I was captivated when you emphasized that education is the best equalizer and that no matter how hard life is, it is balanced by one's willing heart. There's nothing impossible with a willing heart. I admire the way you conveyed your message because it has all the ingredients, especially when you give me to the PICPA acronym. And you reminded us of the quote of Confucius that a journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step. However, suffice for me to say that you brought again to me the memories and experiences of the past and the ordeal of my childhood days. It was a speech, it was a speech an anxious audience is worth listening to, and it gives hope to the listening audience like me in such a very timely subject, especially now that we are having hard and challenging times in front of us. It gives me hope and inspiring to be more strong and ready during these hopeless times. As I have said, it gives hope that behind the thick clouds, the sun is still shining. However, I cannot hide my admiration how well you speak uh, with such an amplified manner. The words that you uttered are full of enthusiasm while you are narrating your stories. However, there was a technical glitch, and some of the words are not audible. I recommend that you invest in uh, purchasing a good internet connection because you have the potential and you are a good motivational speaker and you can inspire a lot of persons. And my challenge to you is continue speaking in public. Thank you and good night. Back, Mr. Contest Master.
Contestant number 8, please stay on screen and receive your virtual certificate and a quick photo op. Certificate of participation is presented to Alfred Reyes for participating in the annual speech evaluation contest of PICPA Riyadh Toastmasters Club held virtually on the 11th day of January 2022. Signed by the contest chair Lillian Beldad and Chief Judge Harris Asedera. Congratulations. 1 minute of silence, please. Sergeant at Arms, have the next contestant return to the main room. I will now introduce the next contestant. Contestant number 11, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Can you do the audio and visual check?
This is an audio and visual check.
Can you see the timer?
Yes, I can see the timer.
Thank you. Contestant number 11, Ferdinand Gueco. Ferdinand Gueco, contestant number 11.
When the world needs some sort of motivation and inspiration, you always want to find and listen to someone. And thank God there is Toastmaster Jalan standing in front with all of us. Mr. Contest Chair, fellow Toastmaster, especially our target speaker, Toastmaster Jalan, good evening. I really felt the emotions that you put to your speech. It's very timely and relevant, especially in this time of pandemic. But let me scrutinize your speech so that next time you will improve more and you become more seasoned Toastmaster. But let me first identify to you the strength that's already within you. First, I really like the clever way of putting those words in pikpa, the poverty, the intellectual capacity, the culture, the power, and affiliation. Those powerful words that I really want to hear. What does those Master Jola want to say to us? What kind of motivation you want to impart to everyone? Continue doing that clever way of putting some words so that you will entice your audience every time you speak. I really like also your vocal variety. You have this a natural, beautiful tone of voice that even though without this video, even you are in the radio, I really love to listen to you. Finally, your educational way of delivering your message. It was like I was listening an educational session and I'm very much interested in every single word that you want to share to us. But Toastmaster Jolan, let me help you and give my humble criticism on how we're going to improve your speech next time. I have two parts. First, the technical aspect, and the second, the speech itself. Let's begin with the technical aspect. Every time we speak in front, we want to check that we are in the right posture. We want to look at the mirror that we are okay. The lightnings are excellent. And of course, there should be a stable internet connection. Those technical aspects which I observed are lacking to your speech today. And when it comes to speech, the opening, the body, and the conclusion. Those are the basic elements we want to put to your message speech every time we stand in front of everyone. When every time we deliver with an opening, it should be the same as the ending. It should be a powerful message. You might want to include some quotation and of course a well-structured body. And you have to end it with a powerful takeaway that everybody would love to remember. But overall, Toastmaster Jolan, keep those unique way of clever way of putting some words, continue to improve and polish that vocal variety, and try to take down note this small criticism that I suggest to you, which are very vital in every time we speak in front. And I know, Toastmaster Jolan, you will become a seasoned Toastmaster, and we would love to hear more of you soon. Mr. Contest Chair.
Thank you, contestant number 11. Kindly stay on screen and receive your virtual certificate and a quick photo op. Certificate of participation is presented to Ferdinand Gueco for participating in the annual speech evaluation contest of Pikpariyad Toastmasters Club held virtually on the 11th day of January 2022. Signed by the contest chair Lillian Beldad and Chief Judge Harris Asidera. Congratulations. 1 minute of silence, please. Sergeant at Arms, please have the next contestant return to the main room. I will now introduce contestant number 12, our last contestant for the evaluation speech. Is contestant number 12 ready? Is contestant number 12 ready?
Yes, I am very much ready.
Can you see the timer?
Yes, I can see Chief Timer Ryan Panilo.
Thank you. Can you do an audio and visual check?
This is an audio and visual check.
Edward Berador, contestant number 12. Edward Berador, contestant number 12.
One afternoon, I had a conversation with my boss, and he actually, I'm sorry, I have to go to. I cannot see the timer. Sorry. Can you please pin the timer? And yeah. Okay. One afternoon, I had a conversation with my boss, and he really told me this wisdom that life is fair but not equal. Why? Because fairness comes with blessing, and equality is also another form of blessing. Why is it not equal? Because we are entrusted with the things that is due for us. We're entrusted with the things which are really entitled for us. And we cannot say that it's not fair. It's really fair, but not equally distributed to everybody. Fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests, and to our speaker, Toastmaster Jolan. One of the things that really gave me the interest of your speech is it's very relevant in our society, very tangible. The things that you were saying from the start to finish are very tangible, very relatable, and I was able to understand fully what you're talking about, especially when you have subdivided the 5 aspects of inequality in our society. I love it because I can hear your voice from within that you're really saying some value that could add to me as a person. The way you gave us the transitions of each of the 5 were very clear also because you gave us examples of each. If you would allow me to give you some STGOs or something to grow on, during the concluding part of your speech, you could have moved away to the lighter part of the room. In the first place, it gives you transition of your blocking. Secondly, we can see your facial expression. I know you're not using lights, but it would not give us an impression that there were no lights. It would give us a drama and a pause. And you can start talking about your personal story. What inequality experience have you had in your life? That would give us a more impactful, more impeccable ending. I just felt short of your ending because I'm still on the cloud 9 of your story. I want to recover. I want to ride with you on that beautiful ending. In summary, you have a very organized speech. I was just mainly looking for a dramatic form of ending, and that would give you a more complete spiced speech. Congratulations. I'm looking forward to your next speech. Thank you. Back to our contest master.
Thank you, contestant number 12. Please stay on screen and receive your virtual certificate and a quick photo op. Certificate of participation is presented to Edward Berador for participating in the annual speech evaluation contest of Pikpar Riyadh Toastmasters Club held virtually on the 11th day of January 2022, signed by the contest chair Lilian Beldad and Chief Judge Harris Asedera. Congratulations. May we have, I think we need 3 minutes of silence until all the judges' results have been collected. And judges, please communicate with the chief judge when you have completed them. So before I will end the evaluation speech contest for the benefit of our audiences and the dignitaries, that allow me to please summarize all the contestants. Evaluation speech contest. Number one contestant, Marty David. Number two, Rogelio Wenceslao. Number three, Rosel Sazon. We don't have contestants number 4 and 5. Contestant number 6, Carlo Iseo. 7, Ria May San Pedro. Number 8, Alfred Reyes. We don't have contestants number 9 and 10. Contestant number 11, Ferdinand Hueco. And last, contestant number 12, Edward Berador. So
May I request all the contestants to please turn on your video for a photo opportunity.
thank you, Chief Judge. So before I will return the virtual lectern to the Masters of Ceremony, I would like to first thanks all the organizing team of tonight's speech evaluation.
Toastmaster Eric, point of order.
Yes.
Let's have 3 minutes of silence first.
Oh, thank you, sorry.
And photo up.
All right, smile for the camera. Contestants, together with our contest master. Toastmaster Eric, smile for the camera. Ready? Taking the screenshot in 3, 2, 1. Thank you. Good job, everyone.
All right, so before I return the virtual lectern to our Masters of Ceremonies, I would like to thank everyone for having me as your contest master for tonight's evaluation speech contest. And apologies for the bloopers. So thank you so much. This is such a learning experience for me. And good luck and all the best. And congratulations to each and everyone. And back to you, to our Masters of Ceremony, Toastmaster Archie.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Eric, for that wonderful administration of the speech evaluation contest. You were splendid in your performance. There's nothing to apologize. We were all in awe of the speakers and the way that segment was handled. So congratulations. And as a token of our gratitude to your performance, we present to you this certificate of appreciation, and I'm going to read what's in it. Certificate of appreciation is proudly presented to Toastmaster Eric Shu for his outstanding support to Toastmasters International's Communication and Leadership Program by being the Speech Evaluation Contest Master in the annual speech contest of Peak Period Toastmasters Club held virtually this 11th day of January 2022, signed by the contest chair, Lilian Beldad, and the chief judge, Mr. Harris Astera. How about a round of applause, please, for Toastmaster Eric Shu? Do we have virtual applause? Or I have to do it myself. So thank you, Toastmaster Eric. And before moving on to the next portion of the night's most awaited portion, let me read this statement to remind everyone of what's happening tonight. So this is like a disclaimer statement. By attending this remote club evaluation and speech contest, you agree to the privacy policy of Toastmasters International, as well as the unassociated remote hosting service. Some of your personal information, such as your name, your image, and will be recorded by Toastmasters International, who may use the recording in the future as it sees fit. Therefore, your remote attendance hereby discharges Toastmasters International from all claims, demands, rights, promises, damages, and liabilities arising out of or in connection with the use or distribution of said video recordings, including but not limited to any claims for invasion of privacy, appropriation of likeness, or defamation. And I thank you. I don't understand anything, but anyway. How are you, everyone? Good evening, everyone. How about a round of applause for everyone? Can I have a virtual round of applause, please? And what about everyone? Can you just for 2 seconds open your camera to let me see that I'm not babbling here alone, that there are still live audiences here with us? 1, 2, 3. Nobody just, anyway. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the second portion of the show. Bonsoir, good night, konbanwa, mabuhay. Well, this is the international speech contest that we are about to witness, and this is a widely, hotly contested portion for Toastmasters. It is like the penultimate or the cap of all the contests, wherein the contestants are given such time to prepare out of their personal stories and share it to the wonderful crowd, so that we will be able to get nuggets of wisdom, all incorporating and all encompassing the Toastmaster qualities and characteristics, which we are very proud of. So to kick off with this contest, let me bring you to the contest master without any further ado. Our contest master for tonight, let me read a bit of his details. He joined Toastmaster in 2020, and he is a knowledge management specialist at Solutions by STC. He is a period movie enthusiast, and he is a radio announcer by profession. So I have very high expectations in his baritone mode of voice. Ladies and gentlemen and fellow Toastmasters, the contest master for tonight for International Speech Contest, Toastmaster Domingo Capatura. A round of applause, please. Domingo, have the floor.
Thank you so much, our Master of Ceremonies, Toastmaster Archie. Oh, I'm so anxious. I was not anxious just a while ago. Now I am, because of your high expectation. Anyway, I remember 12 or 13 years ago, that was too long ago, I was blank-minded in a classroom in a Philippine international school. I cannot remember where that was, but I'm so sure that it's in Riyadh. That means I'm really an old timer here in Riyadh. With combined nervousness and don't know what to say moment. But I do know what I was doing that time. That is, I'm just stuck. I was petrified. I'm talking about answering a table topic speech contest. And you know what? I did not answer anything. And that made me not pursue Toastmasters. Until 2 years ago, I'm back to Toastmasters, and this time still with Mabuhay Toastmasters Club. So I represent Mabuhay Toastmasters Club. That was my very first experience. And I know that you can relate, I'm so sure with that, with our first times in public speaking. Here I am in front of you, your contest chair. Different now. Members of the PRTC or PICPA Riyadh Toastmasters Club, members from other clubs here and abroad, our guests, virtually welcome to the online International Speech Contest. It's a fabulous evening indeed. The purpose of the International Speech Contest, as defined by Toastmasters, is to provide an opportunity for speakers to improve their speaking abilities and to recognize the best. That's why only one or a few will win tonight. And why is this? Is it to make others envy you? It's an encouragement to all. We inspire others, even though we win. To provide an opportunity also is one of the objectives of International Speech Contest, to learn by observing the more proficient speakers who have benefited from their Toastmasters training. As the saying goes, if you think you're the smartest room or smartest person in the room, then you're in the wrong room. You do not belong here. In other words, we have the responsibility and the the enjoyment to transfer or share what we know. I would also add to the objectives that I've just mentioned. We learn from the stories and just have fun, as we will be amazed with what our speakers for tonight will lay down to us. I know we are all excited. We're in the euphoric moment. At the same time, we are also nervous. We have this anxiety in us, like I experience now. Yes, so I know we should start now, but there are instructions before that, as just reminders for us, especially to the contestants. Please note that this contest session is being recorded. And I hope you don't claim royalty fee, all right? Although we know that each of us is royal in the eyes of God if you just believe. Please also note that it is important that apart from our designated audience members who have specifically been asked to keep their videos on, we require the remaining audience to keep their videos off and sound muted at all times while speeches are being delivered. Now, the timing. The timing of the international speech contests must be from 5 to 7 minutes. A contestant will be disqualified if the speech is less than 4 minutes and 30 seconds or more than 7 minutes and 30 seconds. In other words, it should be between 4 minutes and 30 seconds and 7 minutes and 30 seconds. The timing will be indicated by the timer using virtual color backgrounds. The speakers have been advised to pin the timer and to also have their own timing device in the room with them, but I would not recommend that much. It might be a disruption, especially if there's a sound. So let's just depend on the timer we have. The timekeeper completing the timekeeper sheet will be the official time record for this contest. Timekeepers, are you ready? Please display the green signal at 5 minutes, the yellow signal at 6 minutes, and the red signal at 7 minutes, indicating you have to wrap it up in 30 seconds. There will be no further indication of time, and the red signal will remain displayed until the contestant concludes their presentation. Judges have been instructed not to consider time in the ranking of the speakers unless speech went over time, which I believe as per Toastmaster's rule, it will be disqualified, isn't it? Timing will begin with the contestants' first definite verbal or nonverbal communication with the audience. This usually starts with the first word uttered by the contestant, but would include any other communications such as sound effects, a stage act by another person, etc. The speaker should begin speaking within a short time of arriving at the speaking area, which is our virtual platform, and it's not permitted to delay the contest unnecessarily. I don't think that you should be thinking first before opening your mouth in 2 minutes. If a contestant has problems with the audio or video, unexpected noise or disturbances, or anything out of his or her control, before the minimum qualifying time, then the contest chief judge will use their judgment if it is necessary to start over or proceed from where the issue occurred. If the contestant meets the minimum time before encountering the issue, then no action is taken and the judges were instructed to not hold the difficulties against the contestants. If loss of connection, the contestant could be moved to the end of the contest order, and we would not wait for them to rejoin before proceeding. The contestants and the judges have certified their eligibility. The contest chair and the chief judge had confirmed the eligibility of the contestants and the judges. The winner of today's international speech will represent the PRTC at Area 5 at a later date to be communicated by the area director. More reminders, these proceedings are designed to ensure that we run a fair contest and that each contestant is given a level playing field on which to compete. The following announcements are made in the interest of having a distraction-free environment for our contestants. Namely, please place all cell phones or other devices that make audible noises either off or on silent. No photography of the contestants is allowed during contestant speeches that may cause distraction. Please put away cameras, smartphones, tablets, all devices that can take pictures. There will be photo opportunities after the speeches. Video recording is allowed only if the contestant and the contest chair have given their approval in advance. Once the contest has begun, in a few seconds, members of the audience are asked to mute their audio and turn their video cameras off. I would like to ask our very hardworking contest chair, the TM president of PICPA Toastmasters Club, have all the contestants been briefed? And are all the contestants present? You have notified me there is one that cannot make it tonight. Can you confirm this contest chair?
Toastmaster Lillian?
Yeah. I believe we're ready to proceed with the contest. If she comes back in a moment, let me turn to our chief judge, Mr. Harris. Have all the contest officials been briefed?
Definitely, yes.
Yes, so we're ready to proceed with the contest.
Yes, you may proceed.
Okay. In order to allow the judges time to mark their judging forms, we will have 1 minute of silence after each contestant's speech. And we will have silence after the last contestant's speech. That's, I think, will run for 3 to 5 minutes until all the results are collected. Timekeepers, will one of you signal me when 1 minute has elapsed between contestant speeches, except of course for the last contestant? Definitely. The speaking order for the contest was determined earlier by having our contestants draw for position. The order for the contest will be contestant number 1, and please spotlight each of the contestants, Ferdinand Gueco. Contestant number 2, Rosel Sazon. Contestant number 3, Carlo Ray Iseo. Contestant number 4, which I believe he is not present tonight, Michael John Benicarlo. And lastly, contestant number 5, Rogelio Wenceslao Jr. Each contestant will be introduced by his or her number, name, and the speech title. I think we don't have a lady tonight. I will then, where's the girl power? I will then repeat by saying it in reverse as speech, title, the contestant's name, and the contestant's number. All contestants may remain in the room during this contest. So are there any questions from our contestants? I hope there's nothing, or we might delay this up to 11 p.m. Or any catch-up instructions from our contest chair or our club president or our chief judge? I think there's nothing. If not,
I believe we're good to go.
We're good to go. If not, then the international speech contest will now begin. Please turn off video at this time with the exception of the timer and the first speaker. And I believe our Sergeant at Arms, can you bring the second contestant and up to the last contestant in the breakout room? And we have the spotlight on
Point of
first
order.
contestant. Yes.
Toastmaster, Mr. Contest Master, no need to bring them to the breakout room.
Oh.
They may stay, yes.
Right, I'm used to the evaluation. Right, because their speech is unique. All right.
Definitely.
Oh, great. Thanks for that. So let's have the first contestant. Okay, contestant number 1, Ferdinand. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Can you see the timer?
Yes.
On there? All right. Mr. Ferdinand Gueco, we will have a audio and visual check. Let's do it differently this time. Just say your name and say, I'm thinking of a word. Say, I'm fiery. My name is, and say, I'm fiery.
My name is Ferdinand and I'm fiery.
That's great. Just to cheer you up before you proceed with your speech. So let's give a warm applause to our first contestant, Ferdinand Gueco, with his speech, Always Rise. Always Rise. Ferdinand Gueco, contestant number 1.
Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. That was the first line of his speech by Mark Antony in the play Julius Caesar in a William Shakespeare. This is one of the most famous lines in all William Shakespeare's. Mr. Contest Chair, fellow Toastmasters, to our distinguished guests, good evening. It's just amazing how those lines resonated well with me and reminded me of the valuable lessons my mom imparted on all of us. She always wanted to feed us with rice. Oops, not the kabsa rice or the extra rice that we all love, but it's all about respect, integrity, service, and excellence. Tonight, it's a tribute to that voice that never fails to uplift, inspire, and aim forward. The first valuable lesson my mom imparted to all of us is to always be respectful to all, or at least always try to. A golden piece of advice a mother gave to his son. Ever since we were young, our mom told us to always pay respect to our elders. And that is why whenever our grandparents would visit us, we would usually run towards them, kiss them, hug them, and say, I love you to them. That is why it pains my heart seeing news about those senior citizens being maltreated to the home for the aged, how they were sometimes left ignored because of their old age. Friends, let us not wait for that time that we will be in their position and experience the same thing. Always that well-deserved consideration to the elders of our society. Ask the person who are all present tonight virtually. Have you been treating them well? Second, always have that integrity. Guard it 24/7. I've been married for 10 years with a dream girl that I wished for a long time. It was the greatest achievement that I ever received in my entire life. How sweet was that? But things turns out the other way around. After 10 years of roller coaster ride with her, separated. But if there is one valuable lesson my mom ingrained in all of us, is to always maintain that integrity no matter what. The same lesson I am passing with my lovely daughter, the greatest gift I ever had in my previous relationship. And lastly, always be of service to others and do excellently. I am a member of Toastmaster for a couple of years now. And after learning the ropes, I become a president of our club. I become an area director. I was an execom almost every year. But believe me, it's never been an easy task. Especially when it is difficult to manage a club or an area with a pool of big wigs. And if there is one thing my mom always tell me, is to always of service to others and deliver it with excellence. But let me share to you my card. Every time we recite the Toastmasters model, for better listening, it pinches my heart a little. You know why? I am clinically diagnosed as hearing impaired. My left ear is having a tumor, which somehow lacks the audio. But this will not impede me in serving my clubs and the rest of the Toastmaster fraternity. In fact, I am giving it 101% of it. These invaluable lessons my mom gave us, that is always rise, respect, integrity, and service, coupled with excellence in whatever we do. Incidentally, Toastmaster International has happened to have the same values to all the members. Isn't it? So to you, my mom in heaven, thank you for allowing me to share that voice lesson to everyone. They are forever etched in my heart, and forever they shall be. Mr. Contest Chair.
Thank you so much. Our first contestant for tonight, we have Mr. Ferdinand Gueco with that very wonderful message to each of us. It's very touching. I could remember my grandmom, who actually died for me, that it's not good to remember anyway, because you feel not only nostalgic but really emotional. So we care for the elderly and the person with disabilities, and I miss doing this, not only to feel good, but of course to give support and care for those who are in need. Respect, integrity, service, and do all of this coupled with excellence. It's great. We rise. Thank you so much again to our first contestant. Well, we present to you your certificate of appreciation for joining this contest. This speech contest certification or certificate of participation is presented to Mr. Ferdinand Gueco for participating in the annual International Speech Contest of Big Paria Toastmasters Club, PRTC, held virtually today, 11th day of January 2022, signed by the contest chair, the TM president, Lilian Bildad, and the chief judge, Harris Asidera. Thank you so much, and have a quick photo opportunity. Shall we have a minute of silence before our second contestant, to give way for our judges to tally their votes and think of their evaluation and comments. Now let's proceed to our second contestant. Can we spotlight him? All right, contestant number 2, Roselle Sazon. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready, Mr. Contest Master.
Can you see the timer on your screen?
Okay, it's been, okay, I can see.
All right. Now let's do the audio and visual check. Say your name and say this statement. I am buoyant. I am buoyant.
Thank you, Mr. Contest Master. I am Toastmaster Roselle, and I am buoyant. This is an audio video check.
That's good. So let's welcome our second contestant, contestant number 2, Roselle Sazon, with this speech entitled The Sound. The Sound, Roselle Sazon, contestant number 2.
They say an average human can make 500 distinct sounds of vowels and consonants if you include the variation of beep, and volume, that number is infinite. Dashing contest master, beautiful Madam Contest Chair, anonymous incognito judges, fellow Toastmasters, and amazing guests, good evening. There are a lot of sounds that we know. Perhaps the sound of a cat, meow, the sound of the heart, dub, 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 or the sound of the fart. Kidding aside, let's start. The sounds of music. Everybody will agree with me that the sound of music or the music itself is the purest form of art and therefore the most direct expression of beauty. Have you ever wondered that sometimes hearing a music, even no words on it, or sometimes in a different language that we don't understand at all, it just gives us the feeling of good feeling and sometimes it makes us smile. Wait for others. Most of you don't know that 80% of my music playlists are Japanese songs. Perhaps weird for some, interesting for others. Perhaps you may consider me as one of the weirdest person you know because I'm not a Japanese and I can admit that sometimes most of my music I don't understand them at all. However, fellow Toastmasters, the sound of music is the energy that keeps me going and the force that keeps me moving. Music always soothes and energizes my mood. Music is life indeed. It really made my day almost every day. At some point in time, the sound of music also marks some of the memorable times in our life. Like those anime music, I wanna be the very best, like no one ever was. That completely colored my childhood years in good times as well as the bad times. Perhaps by now, fellow Toastmasters and guests, you are thinking what music drives you, or shall I say, what is your favorite music? Anyone would like to share? Don't be shy. Next is the sound of nature. Little did I know that the sound of nature is just like sound of the wind, the sound of the ocean. Cool and relaxing, right? However, for me, fellow Toastmasters, the sound of nature is when my stomach sings. Yes, I am cursed and proud to be a lactose intolerance babe. Because every time I eat dairy foods, either intentionally or accidentally, surely 100% that sound of nature will arrive. On a serious note, every time I hear that sound of nature, at least for me, it just gives me a reminder about the word freedom. Yes, my freedom to eat every food without any restriction, because that is truly amazing. They say no one's stopping you, live your life to the fullest. However, fellow Toastmasters and guests, having this kind of condition is sometimes can be fatal. Somehow, let's just be grateful, especially for those who are not cursed like me, because nothing feels better than being free. On the last sound that I will share with you is the sound of silence. Yes, you heard it right. I'm not crazy. The sound of silence. Excuse me to all our young at hearts. This is not the music popularized by Simon and Garfunkel in 1964, okay? It is the sound of silence when my mother doesn't like anything or not agreeing on something. That sound of silence of my mother reminds us her love to me and to my whole family. Let me share you a story. I can still vividly recall back then when I was in college. On the first year, I've lost my scholarship. That forced me to work while studying. However, I made a mistake. I forgot to inform my family, especially my parents. Perhaps it's because seeing my mother struggle every day just to give me that baon, or shall I say, the pocket money for my transportation. Borrow here, borrow there, to whom I really don't know. When my mother found out, because my uniform arrives at home, she was just silent. And that silence almost break our ears and our hearts. The silence that was so painful, I prefer to get slapped. Realizing the love of my mother just because she don't want me to work while studying and enjoy my studies instead. That moment, the humblest sorry is the only word that comes out in my mouth. Fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, from the noisy morning ring of our alarms up to the silence of the night before we sleep, always remember, no matter what, we should always be mindful of doing the right things. Because no matter how bad the situation it may sound, surely you will never be get out of tune. Back to you, Mr. Contest Master.
Thank you so much. Our second contestant, Mr. Rosel Zazon. We would like you to stay on the screen and receive your virtually your certificate of appreciation. This is presented to our second contestant, Rosel Sazon, and we have a minute of silence, by the way, while we do this. Our timer, please, 1 minute of silence. So, as I was saying, certificate of participation in this international speech contest is presented to Rosel Sazon for participating in the annual International Speech Contest, PRTC, held virtually today, 11th day of January 2022, signed by the contest chair, TM President Lilian Bildad, and the Chief Judge, Haris Asidera.
You may proceed, Toastmaster Domingo.
Now, all eyes to our third contestant, Mr. Carlo Ray Iseo. Are you ready? Can you please respond? Mr. Carlos, your microphone is muted.
Sorry, I got so excited. I am ready, sir.
All right. And can you see the timer on the screen?
I can see the chief timer, Ryan Panelo.
And say this: my name is Carlo Ray Iseo, and I'm bubbly.
My name is Carlo Ray Iseo, and I am bubbly.
Right. We can hear well and see you handsomely, if that's the right word. Our third contestant, Mr. Carlo Ray Iseo, with his speech, Just Another Childhood Story. Just Another Childhood Story, Carlo Ray Iseo, contestant number 3.
I am a middle child. And like most of the middle children in the world, I would always feel isolated and deprived. I grew up believing that I am insignificant, and with my multiple attempts to prove myself, I would always feel and end up frustrated. These notions and these imaginary feelings brought an adverse upshot to my character. During high school, my father would always compare his academic journey against mine. He would always despise my mediocre grades. I hope I could be like DTM Sean, who is not only intelligent, but also rich, filthy rich. Or distinguished Toastmaster Roy, because of his wittiness, albeit his age. He's not here, right? Going back, in our dinner table, my father would always brag his being top of the class or being the most talented guy in the class, despite the severity of life. These events and these scenarios have squeezed my life so much that even up to now, I still can hear small voices saying, Carlo, you are not good enough. You will never be good enough. College came and I pursued accounting. Same career path that of my father. Only that he did not pursue taking the board examination. It was an aha moment for me because I now have a perfect chance to at least get even with him. Years passed, I graduated, and soon enough became a certified public accountant. Getting through this board examination metamorphosed me into this whole new human being. Bolder, fiercer, braver, and tougher. Even more so when I was able to find a good job and help provide for my family. At that time, I make sure everybody listens to me and that my opinion matters. No, that my opinion only matters. I was already enjoying this whole new world in this whole new sort of new persona of mine when memories would remind me of my hate towards my parents, of my envy towards my siblings, and my abhorrence towards my childhood. This hate was even passed on to my niece, Ella. She lives in our family home since her parents got separated a couple of years ago. Ella is a beautiful, youthful, probably around 12 years old, and the president of her class. She is actually talented. She loves to sing, she loves to dance, and oh, I would never forget her favorite song, Umbrella by Rihanna, and oh, I hate that song very well. In other words, Ella is talented, he is intelligent, brilliant kid, just like my father. And that's why I even hated her more. When I went back to the Philippines for my annual vacation, I would always reprimand her for being lazy and for her being lousy every time I asked her to do something. At one point in time, I got so angry, I got so annoyed that I yelled and I shouted at her. You know what she did? I know you will get annoyed. She just indifferently stood up and walked away grudgingly as if nothing happens. Very annoying indeed. Month after, my mother informed me that Ella was rushed to the hospital. Gallons of blood were taken out from her frail and weak body. Several tests were conducted. Blood samples were sent to the capital city of Manila. And series of tests were actually performed from her frail, weak, young body. From there, I realized maybe that's the reason why a month ago, she felt weak, she felt lazy, she felt lousy. The day before Christmas, Ella died. My brother, weeping, she said, Carl, Ella died right after she saw me. It's as if she's only waiting to see me. My fellow Toastmasters at that time, I felt so naive to feel alone all my life when Ella doesn't have a complete family. I realized how stupid I am of spending most of my time hating when Ella lived a very short life. There, I realized how full I am of despising my parents when Ella doesn't have one. My fellow Toastmasters, Ella and my story could be just your another childhood story, lame and boring. But stories such as this would always inspire us that in the midst of our struggles, in the midst of this pandemic, that in the midst of every tribulations we're encountering, there's someone who is actually experiencing even worse than that. This experience or this childhood story would remind us not to be defined by our past, that even though we are a product of it, we shouldn't be confined in it. I urge you now to search your heart, check from within, check the things that anchors you from the past, that hinders you from growing up, from growing on, and from succeeding in life. Because my fellow Toastmasters, life is more meaningful without that excess baggages within. Back to you, Mr. Contest Master.
Thank you so much. Our third contestant, Mr. Carlo Ray. So we have a minute of silence while we do this. We appreciate your participating in this speech contest. This is presented to Carlo Ray Iseo for, again, your cooperation, your participation in the annual International Speech Contest of the PRTC Club, held virtually on the 11th day of January, 2022, signed by Lilian Bildad, the contest chair, and Haris Asedera, the chief judge. And the photo committee might take a picture of him and the certificate. Let's just finish the minute of. All right, we proceed. Just a reminder to our judges that contestant number 4 is not available tonight, Mr. Michael John Benicarlo. So we proceed with the last contestant, our contestant number 5. Let's glue ourselves to him, Mr. Rogelio Wenceslao Jr. And I believe you're ready. Right.
Yes.
Yes. Can you see the timer on the screen?
Yep.
And we do the audio and visual check. Just say your name and say, I'm sparkling.
My name is Rogelio Wenceslao, and I am sparkling.
Right. Our contestant number 5, Rogelio Wenceslao Jr., with his speech, Cup of Coffee. Cup of Coffee. Rogelio Wenceslao Jr., contestant number 5.
We can never choose our parents, and our parents, vice versa, can never choose their children. But we can choose to make the most of what we have and be better and not bitter. Mr. Contest Chair, distinguished guests, fellow Toastmasters, ladies and gentlemen, I was only 5 years old, and at that tender age, I already knew that we were poor. One dinner time, a rather unusual dish is displayed. A far cry from the typical Filipino is served. I could imagine Chef Gordon Ramsay frowning as he sees the steaming Japanese rice poured with coffee Arabica and garnished with Philippines Muscovado sugar. Well, that's just my childhood parody for coffee and rice. We usually have this when we run out of money and all our credit lines are maxed up. But surprisingly, We happily finish everything, whatever on the plate. And I told myself, someday I will never have to drink Starbucks with rice again. 2 years passed. My mom enlisted me in the nearest public school, beautifully named Florida Blanca East Central Elementary School, which translates to feces when abbreviated. Well, no pun intended. Well, given its rather smelly name, the school is known for having high caliber and talented pupils. And you guess it right, I was one of them. Kidding aside, I made sure that my parents would go up on the stage and put my medal on. And literally, for the next 6 years, grades 1, grades 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, I wore the same shoes. Thanks to my mom's improvised shoe filler, which usually consisted of crumpled soft carton, my shoes were secured. And I told myself, someday I can wear a bespoke shoes that fits me perfectly. High school, my mom went abroad to make both ends meet. I remember writing her via snail mail that I joined the declamation contest and that I won. And it has a cash prize. And as any poor child having 500 pesos in pocket, the priority was for not for whims and wants, but for needs. And so there I was. I rushed to the nearest grocery store and bought some grocery items for my family. I bought some coffee, cigarette for my pops, some grocery items, food for my siblings. And it really felt great buying for them. And I told myself someday I will provide for them. Well, looking back, I could imagine my nanay when serving the coffee and rice. Her tears must have dropped on that food while feeding us. And that made me emotionally hungry to better myself. When I was on that stage wearing that oversized shoes, I could imagine my mom praying that my shoes won't slip. And that triggered me to strive harder and finish my studies. When I won the declamation contest, my mom must have been very ecstatic while taking care of other kids when she was in abroad. And that prompted me to never stop dreaming and aim always for excellence. My dear fellow Toastmasters, similar success stories like Tony Cactio, who, when he was 22, inspired by his visit to the Magnolia ice cream plant, took all his family savings and invested into what is now the biggest fast food empire known as, you guess it right, favorite of Doc Sean, Jollibee. Of Henry C., who in 1953 started a small shoe store and named it Shoe Mart, and eventually marking its beginning or the birth of the SM Prime Holdings, which included him in the Forbes list of the billionaire here in the world. And finally, of Manny Pacquiao, who from abject poverty rose to the pinnacle of his sports and eventually became senator. And Of course, thanks to Nanay Junisha, she must have been praying hard for his son's victory. Well, while I may have come from humble beginnings, I do not consider myself deprived and unfortunate. That if I am to be a product of my past, I remain grateful. And how about you, fellow Toastmaster? What's your story? Let's have a cup of coffee. My treat. Back to our contest master.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rogelio Wenceslao, our last contestant number 5. I'll count on that. We have 3 minutes of silence while we award this certificate of participation to him, Mr. Rogelio Wenceslao Jr., for his participation in the annual International Speech Contest of PICPA Riyadh Toastmasters Club, PRTC, held virtually on the 11th day of January this year. Signed by Lilian Bildad, contest chair, and Mr. Haris Esadera, the chief judge. And while we have this 3 minutes of silence, not really a silence, but we have a very special, distinguished co-Toastmasters, let's say. But he is a distinguished Toastmaster indeed. Let's call on from District 79, distinguished Toastmaster Abdul Ghafoor to say something while we have this 3 minutes of waiting for our judges to have their final verdict. Mr. Abdul Ghafoor? Are you here?
Yes. Yes, Mr. Contest Chair.
Welcome. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters of PICPA Toastmasters Club. Thank you very much, our contest chair, Linian Beldad, Chief Judge, Club President, Club BP Education, Area 5 Director, Division N Director, past District Directors, Samir Kamal and DTM James Taruk, and all the dignitaries, past, present, and future leaders of District 79, and respected members, and especially the contestants of today's contest, International and Evaluation. Good evening and Assalamu Alaikum. After attending 26th anniversary of PICPA Toastmaster Club on 10th December, physically in Riyadh, today 11th January 2022, I am once again pleased and humbled to be among you to witness this beautiful contest. 10 plus contestants for evaluation contest and 5 contestants for international speech contest. These are really amazing. The only difference which I noticed with the last anniversary celebration and tonight's contest is the buffet table with the delicious dishes are missing. No problem with that. Ambience still vibrant, atmosphere still electrifying, and the spirit so high. That is what PICPA Toastmaster is all about. You set a benchmark and you strive to do better. Today is another example of your excellence. Thank you very much, dear leaders. I am once again thank you for all the leaders of PICPA. Good luck and all the very best.
Thank you so much, our distinguished Toastmaster from District 79, Mr. Abdul Ghafoor. All our 4 contestants for international speech contests have delivered their brilliant pieces. Well, I know that the judges are doing their evaluation and writing their comments so far, but I would say this. I know you already decided anyway. Well written for your speeches, prepared, exuberantly presented with audible voice and animation. We will check on that if these are all true to each of the contestants. You all did well anyway. And I know that there's the combination of nervousness, anxiousness, all those butterflies in the stomach, whatever the result for tonight. I, your contest master, on behalf of all the audience who watch you already, extend our congratulations to all of you. It had been a great experience having myself as your contest chair in this year's PRTC International Speech PICPA Toastmasters Club, knowing that it's my first. I enjoyed it. I'll consider it in the array of my unforgettable firsts. I turn you now to our Master of Ceremonies, Toastmaster Archie.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Domingo. You were able to expertly articulate how it is to become host as a contest master in international speech. So to reward you for your efforts, because it was very smooth, the transition from the beginning to the end, everything was in spectacular order. So we are going to award you with your certificate of appreciation if the technical team will flash it on the screen. Here we are. The certificate of appreciation is proudly presented to Toastmaster Domingo Calpatura for his outstanding support to Toastmasters International's Communication and Leadership Program by being the International Speech Contest Master in the annual speech contests of PICPA Toastmasters Club held virtually this 11th day of January 2022, signed by the contest chair, Madam Lilian Beldad, and the Chief Judge, Mr. Harris Asidera. So thank you very much, Toastmaster Domingo.
Thank you.
Have a round of applause for him, please. I'm going to do it here, and then perhaps we can have a virtual one. So thank you. You were saying that this was your neophyte way, but for me, the articulation and everything it's not bad the first time. It was remarkable. I wish you all the best, and I wish to see you more in Toastmasters, either in Mabuhay or in PRTC. Now, moving forward, I would like to acknowledge we have a lot of dignitaries actually in the meeting room, and we are very fortunate and blessed to have them, to be graced by their presence. We are now in the time frame of 5 minutes of silence to be able to give ample time for the judges to collate or to collect also their entire votes or thoughts and who their potential winners would be. And while they're doing that, I'm going to acknowledge our dignitaries for tonight, starting off with the one who just gave us a marvelous speech, our District 7 to 9 Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Abdul Ghafoor, Distinguished Toastmaster Samer Kamal, and we also have, there are actually a lot of DTMs tonight. We have a roster of them. Distinguished Toastmaster Richard Sinamban, Distinguished Toastmaster Brian Joshua Jimenez, Distinguished Toastmaster James Edward Taruk, Distinguished Toastmaster Sean Louis Sabico, our resident doctor, Distinguished Toastmaster Mark Villena, and we have the PICPA President, Toastmaster Joel Galinato, the President of Mabuhay Toastmasters, Toastmaster Gerard, the President of Spicers, Toastmaster Harry Mark, and the President of PNS, Toastmaster Mark Lacanilao. How about a collective round of applause for all these dignitaries for giving us their time and presence and for gracing our wonderful affair for tonight. Well, do we have an applause, technical team? Or how about you show your videos and give me your round of applause? It's only me doing the applause here. I would also like to commend everyone in the working team because it's not beautiful. It's not easy doing this virtually. There are so many challenges and bottlenecks, and to be able to afford to give you this virtual setup is already an achievement in itself. Now, while we are still in the 5 minutes of silence, I would like the timer to give me the go signal if it's done. So I would like to, have some message of appreciation or reaction from any of the distinguished dignitaries that we have. I would like to start with our resident doctor, Dr. Sean Sabico. Can I pick your brains on anything? Violent reaction, knee-jerk reaction, anything you want to say to the group for tonight. Yes, doctor. Unfortunately. Hello, Doc Sean? Perhaps he is currently indisposed. So I'm going to turn to the roster again for the dignitaries. How about distinguished Toastmaster James Edward Taru, PRTC's own pillar and foundation of success? DTM James, do you have anything to say to us? Hello? The DTMs are a bit busy, I think. Or any volunteers who wants to say any feedback or anything you want to give as an additional message. How about one of my closest friends, but he's a contestant. How about Toastmaster Edward Berador? Doc Ed, do you want to say anything?
I would like to congratulate personally you, Toastmaster Archie,
I'm enjoying
for arriving within the time frame. Though you were a little bit late, but
I'm so sorry. I was currently indisposed due to a personal restraint, but I really tried to go into the roadshow presentation.
You look so stunning with your outfit. Your performance was spectacular as always. You're very articulate.
Oh my God,
you
thank you.
raised the event tonight so well. Thank you for hosting the event. Thank you.
Such a pleasure. Yeah, it's always warm to see you. Thank you, Dr. And I wish you all the best for the evaluation contest as well. You are always also very good in speechifying and elocution. The club is very lucky to have you. So thank you so much and all the best. Thank you. How about distinguished Toastmaster Samir Kamal? Do you want to say anything to the group? We want to hear your words of wisdom, Etienne.
Thank you so much, our master of ceremony, from wherever you are, unless you came to Saudi Arabia. You came back to Saudi Arabia.
No, not yet. Inshallah soon, but yeah.
Mr. District Director, Toastmaster Abdul Ghafoor, past District Director, Toastmaster James, and all dignitaries and PRTC members. Good evening. So another event from PRTC that I enjoy being attending it and witnessing the speakers sharing their knowledge and wisdom and their messages. As always, valuable messages with the great performance that I used to since I joined Toastmasters from PRTC members through all the years. I'm encouraging all the members to continue inspiring us with their performance. And as I always say, PRTC is the University of Toastmasters in Riyadh. We keep always learning from you. Keep enjoying Toastmasters. Back to you, Master of Ceremony.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Samir Kamal. And you, for the record, you're always part of the Toastmaster family because we always see you and we're very happy and more than welcome to have you in the team. Do we have a heads up on the timer? We have reached already 5 minutes? Oh, it's here already. So the 5 minutes is over. So I presume the judges have done the arduous task of collating who the winners are. And it has been my absolute pleasure to be a part of tonight's affair, even though I was a bit late due to a personal restraint. It was very urgent, but then I'm very glad to still be able to follow through. Thank you for tonight, and I wish everyone the best and success to the winners. Moving forward to your next set of contests, I will now give the floor for the awarding of certificates and winners. No other than our PRTC president and the Assistant Program Quality Director for Division N, and also the event chair. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Toastmaster Lilian Beldad or Lilian Rosimo. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a good night.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Archie. Good evening once again. While waiting for the result, we would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge and give thanks to all the functionaries who helped us to make this event possible, starting with our Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Mark Lacanilao, for his outstanding support to Toastmasters International Communication and Leadership Program by attending as our Chief Sergeant at Arms in the annual speech contest of Big Parade Toastmasters Club held virtually in this 11th day of January 2022. Also, Toastmaster Ed Sakurat, his Assistant Sergeant at Arms. Toastmaster Ryan Panilo, our Chief Timer. Toastmaster Harry Umar Tolentino, our Assistant Timer. Toastmaster Ann Elemanco, our Chief Tally Counter. Toastmaster Erwin Mandia, our Assistant Tally Counter. Toastmaster Christine Magat, our Zoom Master. Toastmaster Harris Acedera, our Chief Judge. I think we missed one certificate for Toastmaster Archie Torrejos, our Masters of Ceremony, and to myself as the event chair. Thank you so much. Thank you is not enough to express our gratitude. We will always say thank you, thank you, thank you for all the support. Of course, to our dignitaries, thank you so much. To all the Toastmasters from different clubs, thank you for always supporting PRTC. I think the result is already out, Mr. Chief Judge. Do we have the result?
I'm still waiting for one judge.
Okay, while waiting for one judge, we can have a little bit of interview. Let me call Toastmaster. Okay, we have a guest. Maybe we can ask for a short, we can have a short interview with our guest, Madam Che Enberga. Are you still awake, Madam?
Hello.
Hello. Yes, Madam Che. Good evening.
Good morning from Philippines.
Good morning. Thank you so much for staying late with us. I just want to ask, ma'am, how's your experience? How's our speech contest?
It was great. It's my first time to attend a virtual speech contest.
Wow.
And I enjoyed
it.
I enjoyed it, yes. Should I start my video? Okay, I am not prepared, sorry, but yeah.
It's fine, it's fine. I'm sure our Vice President for Membership is now getting ready to get your information. Maybe you might want to join Toastmaster. If you don't like Saudi Arabia, we have Toastmasters in the Philippines. We can recommend you. But if you prefer Saudi Arabia, you can try Picariad Toastmasters Club. You are very much welcome in our club.
Yes, I was a previous Toastmaster as well here in our company, HP, formerly HP. But due to schedule constraints and having to work as a mom, I do mommy duties. I also work in a corporate setting. So I just find it really difficult to join Toastmasters again. Maybe someday when the kids are
we can relate to that. I can relate to that. Thank you so much, Madam Chair.
Yes, thank you. And congratulations to all the contestants. You're all winners.
I can see a comment here. She is our class valedictorian. Wow. If you are the class valedictorian, distinguished Toastmaster Rogelio Wenceslao is the salutatorian.
Salutatorian, yes.
I guess it right. Thank you so much, Madam Chair, and hopefully you can stay until the end of the
yes,
meeting.
I'm waiting for the announcement.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let me call on another one from JFTC. KFTC. I'm checking the names. I think Distinguished Toastmaster Richard still here. Okay, I think no. How
How about
about
our friends from Mabuhay?
I will call the Mabuhay? Okay. First, Distinguished Toastmaster Mark Villena. Are you still awake? DTM Mark? Okay, we'll go back to the DTM Mark. I will call Toastmaster Gerard, the president of Mabuhay. TM Gerard? Hala, they're all sleeping. How about Distinguished Toastmaster Brian Joshua Jimenez? Okay, I think everybody is sleeping. How about Toastmaster? I cannot call Toastmaster and Annie's still sweating right now for the result. I can see a name here. How about, is it a Toastmaster, Jason Zamora? Mr. or Toastmaster Jason Zamora?
Is from PSME.
Oh, from PSME. Hi, Mr. Toastmaster Jason. How about Mr. Phil or Toastmaster Phil? Everybody is really sleeping or excited to hear.
Perhaps they're taking their dinner, Madam President.
I think we should. They're excited to know who is the winner.
Yes, yeah. I
How
am
about
excited to
our
know,
contest-
even if
Yes.
I am excited to know, even if it's like exactly 3:24 a.m. here in the Philippines. But yeah.
Thank you so much.
When the
TMRT
Madam
for-
President asks you to do something for Toastmasters, you have to say yes. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We can interview our first timer contest
Exactly.
master.
If there's
Toastmaster Domingo and Toastmaster Eric. Are you still with us, Toastmaster Domingo?
Yes, I'm still here.
Yes, Toastmaster Eric, are you still with us? Okay, let's start with Toastmaster Domingo. How is it, Toastmaster? Oh yeah, and they're all here. How's your experience as our contest master tonight?
Let's start
TM
with Mr.
Okay, let's start with Toastmaster Domingo.
All right, yeah, it's fun. As I said, I put this in my unforgettable experience, unforgettable first time to be a contest master for international speech contest. So it's memorable. It's good. I mean, it's not my first time to witness Toastmasters contests, but with this kind of setting, it's really will make you more anxious, isn't it, Mr. Eric Chu? Now to him. More pressure. And thank you for this opportunity.
Yeah.
Eric, what do you want to say?
Yes, it's my first time as well being a contest master. So it's a learning experience for me. And it's not my first time to witness a Toastmaster contest. However, doing a contest master role is some kind of critical because it has to be by the book. And I'm used to I'm used to doing a freestyle kind of hosting an event, but it is a learning experience for me. Thank you so much.
How's your butterflies in your stomach? Are they sleeping now?
Well, next time we will try to challenge them to jump ship aside from being the contest master to become contestants. It would be
Yes.
another challenge or first time.
That's how I experienced being contest master first, and then I became a contestant, and now a judge.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I think next time you should be a contestant and then be an event chair.
Oh, we're now ready.
Okay.
Back
Are we
to
ready?
you, Madam President.
I'm not ready. I don't have the result yet. Mr.
Oh, wait.
CJ.
Madam Contest Chair, the results are now forwarded to our Zoom Master. She's now preparing the certificates, and let me share to you as well the results. After careful tallying from SGV and company, from our trusted auditors, our tally counters, Toastmaster Anne and Toastmaster Erwin, with our incognito judges. Thank you so much for all your efforts. They are everywhere. And you just don't know who our judges are. And did you receive the results, Madam
I received the
Contest Chair?
result. Yes,
All
sir. I
right.
received the result.
And before we
Are you
announce the
excited?
results, yes,
Are you excited?
I am excited to announce, Madam Contest Chair, that we have
Okay.
already
Should I announce or
completed.
you will announce, Mr. Chief
You will
Judge?
be the one who will announce, Madam Contest Chair. However, let me first give my announcement as the Chief Judge. There's some disqualification due to timing requirements for our speech evaluation contest. However, for our international speech contest, everyone is qualified. So it's all yours now, Madam Contest Chair.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chief Judge. Okay, I will now announce the winner for evaluation speech contest in no particular order. Sorry, I thought it's a beauty pageant. Okay, I will announce the third place winner in our evaluation speech contest. Our third place winner is Toastmaster Rosel Sasson.
Madam, let me just correct that one. I think you have the incorrect message.
I think I have the incorrect message. I guess Toastmaster Kate.
Here, let me send
Okay,
you.
apologies to that. There's a little bit of technical glitches. I'm sorry. The evaluation speech contest third place winner is Toastmaster Rogelio Wenceslao Jr. Can we have a photo op with distinguished Toastmaster Rogie? And
congratulations, DTM Rogie.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. This is hard when you're doing the live. It's hard to be in the live show. Our second place winner for evaluation speech contest is none other than Toastmaster Ferdinand Gueco.
Toastmaster Ferdy, congratulations.
Team Ferds, 1, 2, 3.
Congratulations.
Where is
Ba't ako yung nandito? Toastmaster Fred. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay. And the champion in our speech evaluation contest is none other than Toastmaster Edward Berador.
Oh my God!
Give me that reaction again, Doc Ed. 1, 2, 3.
Replay. Oh my God!
Replay.
Replay.
1, 2, 3. Wait. Game.
Oh my God! Yan.
Congratulations, Doc Ed.
May I request the winners to please open
Thank
your
you.
camera. The first,
Worth it.
second, and the third.
Worth it ang pag-change ng gown.
Beautiful.
Okay, let me
Everybody.
have a picture. Doc Ed, you, baba kang konti para kita yung buong ano. Medyo matiyan. 1, 2, 3, smile.
Congratulations.
There you go. Congratulations to our evaluation winners. And now, let's move on to
International speech.
international speech. Is it the correct one? I'm scared to announce.
Yeah, I think it's the correct one. We're going to mention the correct one. However, you're only going to announce 2 winners since we only have 4 participants.
Since we only have 4 contestants, we will only announce 2 winners for international speech contest. And the second place for international speech contest is Toastmaster Carlo Ray Iseo.
Woo!
Toastmaster Carlo, can you open your video? Toastmaster Carlo.
Toastmaster Carlo. Okay, smile. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you and congratulations, Toastmaster Carlo.
And finally, the champion for international speech contest is none other than distinguished Toastmaster Rogelio Wenceslao Jr. I think we have a repeat winner in 2019 speech contest.
Madam Toastmaster, sorry to interrupt, but the rule that you have to announce only 2 is already passé. We have a new rule now that even the contestants are 3, you have to announce 3. So
Understood. I stand corrected.
I think that was done since the last 2 years or what. Anyway, I'm happy to be receiving the award. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Chief Judge.
Yes, I stand corrected. I already saw this update. Thank you so much for the reminder, DTM Roji and DTM Samar Kamal. Thank you so much. Once again, DTM Roji, can you please host for the photo opportunity? All right. And Madam Contest Chair, can you please announce the 3rd place?
Now I will announce the 3rd place winner for International Speech Contest is Toastmaster Rosel Sason.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Team Rose.
Thank you. O, diba? Kala ko na
Ready,
Colombia.
1, 2, 3, smile.
Our local Miss Colombia.
Right. Toastmaster DTM Roji, Toastmaster Carlo, again, please, for the camera.
Ang galing.
All right, ready? 1,
1, 2, 3, and smile.
Thank you and congratulations.
Congratulations.
You may continue now, Madam Contest Chair.
Apologies for a little bit of delay because I'm also the photographer. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Congratulations, everyone. Here we go. The International and Evaluation Speech Contest is already done, and we are now moving on to the Area 5 contest or speech contest set on February 25, 2022. And without further ado, let me call on our Vice President for Education, Toastmaster Kate Magat, for her closing remarks. Thank you, everyone. TM Kate, you are muted.
You are on mute. Toastmaster Kate, you're still on mute.
Is there muted, madam?
Hello.
There you go. Yes, there you go. It's echoing Toastmaster Kate.
Hi, Madam Sis. I'm about to send you a message po kanina pang umaga kaso na-busy kasi sa work.
Toastmaster Roselle. There. Toastmaster Kate, you're on mute. Our Zoom master is super secured.
Now I'm okay.
There, it's better now. You may proceed.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, it's clear now. It's okay.
Okay. Once again, congratulations to all our winners, and we would like to thank everyone from our friends. Everyone from our friends from Jubil, Filipino Toastmasters, Spicers, PSME, and Perlas ng Silangan for helping us make this wonderful show. And would like to thank our judges and all our distinguished guests who grace our show for tonight. And to all our winners, we would like to extend our congratulations and good luck. And may you represent us and bring home the beacon from the area, district, and division contest. Thank you, and we will not hold you any longer. It's too late. We apologize for all the delays, and thank you, and congratulations to all.
Open niyo muna yung
Thank you so
camera.
much. Can you please open your camera and let's have a group photo. Thank you so much, everyone, to all the incognito judges. I am grateful for all your services. To our contest leaders, thank you so much. To the participants, what a great stint that you have there. All right, everyone, please turn on your camera for our group photo.
Give us
We
your
still have,
votes.
yes, we have 28 participants. All right, taking the screenshot in 3, 2, 1.
Keep smiling because we are 2 pages. So I have to take picture first. Okay, first picture, first page.
All right, let's take the photo of the second page. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for your patience. Thank you so much for your time and all your efforts. See you in the area contest.
Thank you po.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Maraming salamat.
Bye. Congratulations.
TM Lilian, congratulations.
Thank you po. Salamat.
Congratulations.
Tawag na pangalan pala. My
Muntik na ako atakihin sa puso.
Contest chair. Muna akong Steve Harvey.
Ay, ang galing nyo ha. Walang technical.
Congrats, madam.
Congrats.
Muntik na ako atakihin sa puso.
Na Steve Harvey ka dun ha.
TM Domingo. Thank you, TM Domingo. Maraming salamat po. TM Eric.
Okay na yung third sabi ko.
Tinignan ko ulit yung
Sino yung Zoom Master?
Kala ko third ako sa evaluation, madam.
Sino ang Zoom Master?
Si TMK po.
TMK.
Ang galing ng Zoom Master ha.
Ganda ng transition eh.
Ang bilis ng transitions, tsaka ang bilis ng pag-prepare ng result.
Congrats, Harris.
Madam?
I know, sobrang pressure.
Si Harris, grabe yung pressure niya.
Sobrang pressure ang post na yan. I can relate.
Madam, we're still recording. Can you please stop the recording?
Congratulations, everybody.